Yes, yes, I know I'm late. I was crossing the border because Mrs. Vile, I went down to see Mrs. Vile last night, and we were trying to cross the border as early as possible so we can work at the storage unit later. But it took 2 hours to cross the border.
What happened to your greeting?
Oh yeah, howdy folks, blah blah blah. Oh crap! I left something in the car.
I'm like, wait a minute, this is not CNA stream without a howdy, folks.
Well, that's because I
That's really
noticed
coming up.
all the Vile mic is late. Even LDG is complaining, even though Mrs. Vile made a comment about we're being late.
You're not saying howdy, folks. It's like Bird not saying kapla.
Of course, she'll cover your ass. Why not?
So, how's your guys' week been? I had another 60-hour work week.
Oh, fun.
Doing good over here. Not bad.
What?
Doing good.
Anything fun or exciting happen for you two? Or you guys just like, we've done nothing?
No, keep him busy this morning.
Watching weather for Alaska.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? CNA stream 131 playing by ear. Bro, Mike just went live.
Oh, nice. At least you got the notification early.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that Mrs. Vile's commenting in the chat even though she's sitting 5 feet from me.
She wants to be interactive.
Why don't you yell loud enough so everyone can hear you?
He's talking to Miss Cardenas, LVG, not you.
I'm trying to get her,
hear her.
She's embarrassed. She's shy.
I can't hear her. Hey, you have somebody backstage, dude.
Well, I can't do anything just this second, so hold on.
You're shit out of luck, geek.
I'm walking around trying to set the computer up, do a whole bunch of other stuff. Because it wouldn't be a Vile Mic stream if I wasn't having technical difficulties, because at least this time it's caused by, life, not because the computer failed.
Sorry.
Here's something maybe you could help me out with, LDG. Why is it every time my computer updates Windows, it forgets the password to my Wi-Fi at home, but none of the other Wi-Fis?
Do you have it saved in your Chrome lockbook, your Chromebook, whatever your Chrome passwords? Keep it there with all your passwords?
No, it's just if any Wi-Fi that I've connected to that I have a password with, the only ones it doesn't remember is the home one, and I don't know why.
You got the box that says "Remember this Wi-Fi," right?
Yeah, yes.
Then I don't know.
And I also didn't ask you. I asked LDG.
I'm trying to help.
Yeah, that's weird. Should remember. Unless you told it to specifically forget.
Well, it only it remembers until the Windows doesn't update. Every time Windows updates, it's the only one that doesn't work. Do you think it's because it's a 5.0 and everything else is 4.0?
No, that shouldn't matter. Unless you have somebody changing the password.
Well, my roommate does like to change the password and makes it ever more complicated every once in a while, but
Do you actually use the password, or do you use the button?
I use the password.
No, then you should be
Hey,
fine.
Captain MKG.
Hit me up when you got time. I can look at it.
Is that 2 supposed to be a hyphen or an exclamation point?
Why is there? Okay, Captain MKG, you screwed up the binary there. Take a look
Yeah,
at
I
it.
know.
You screwed it up a little bit, or
I
maybe
know,
he
you
was
got
maybe he was trying to see if I noticed.
I'm sorry, I'm a nerd. That's the first thing I noticed. Like, what?
No, I was reading it. I was reading it, and I got to like, wait a minute. What is this?
That 2 just popped right out on me. Sorry.
Well, no,
What the hell?
because that makes no. You know, he's perfect. That's perfect for you.
No, it's not.
That's a non-binary number.
Well,
That's
it's
right up your
non-binary, so shut the hell up, LDG.
Yeah, Captain.
Gotcha.
Gender's
No,
apartment
okay,
number
no, I
is
get it.
zero
I
is
understand that.
10010010001. That's his apartment number.
Okay, I get the joke. I Captain MKG, I actually have never watched. We lost Mike again.
This just became the LDG show. Oh
No, I was
sorry.
switching from the top. That's what that was happening.
Yeah, I've never actually watched very much Futurama, but yeah, that actually, you know, considering I had to do binary for quite some time in my job. Yeah, as soon as I started reading, I'm like, wait a minute, something's off here.
Well, that
For
the
those of you who
spacing's
don't know,
off a
there's
little
only
bit.
2 types of. By the way, folks, for those of you who don't know, there's only 2 types of people who know binary. Yeah. Though, well, understanding binary. Oh God, I ruined the joke. Never mind.
No, there's only 2 types of people in this world: those that can extrapolate from data.
Wah, wah, wah.
Actually,
Yeah, Bird, you fucked that up.
we had in the Air Force. We had in one of my units in the Air Force. Our networking department had you know, it said network, and then right after that it said network and binary. We fucking loved it. We had a coin. I don't know if I have one. I'd have to check, but we had one that actually had binary on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bird.
Okay, Bird. Yeah, Bird.
That's the joke, Bird.
Yeah, that's the joke, Bird. Yeah, I fucked it up, man. Yes, I fucked it up. At least I own my fuck ups.
So now I can finally sit.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Unfortunately, since I'm streaming, I don't get to smoke. But oh well.
Why don't you get to smoke?
Maybe I'll.
He's inside. You can't smoke.
I'm not allowed to smoke in the house. I only rent a room. I don't own the house.
Oh, gotcha. No problem, man. I understand completely. I was a smoker once. I stopped smoking in the house after my oldest was born. In fact, when I was younger, it'd be freezing ass cold outside, and I'm outside having a Marlboro menthol, and my daughter would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm outside." She's like, "Oh, you're gonna." This is how she used to say it when she was young. She goes, "You're gonna smoke a cigarette," and I'm like, "Yes, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette."
You know, that is something I'm not looking forward to in a couple weeks.
What's that?
Having to smoke outside in 0-degree weather.
Does it get 0 degree? Does it ever get that cold in your place?
No, I'm going to Alaska.
I think he's talking about going. Well, he's going to Alaska.
I have to live my life vicariously through Elihu because he seems to be the one going on all the vacations to the places I want to go.
All right, and Richie, I'm on the U.S. side of the border. I'm in the U.S. I'm actually at my house right now. So yeah, but this morning I woke up in Mexico. If that helps.
Hopefully you didn't drink the water.
Oh,
Nice
radio.
color on that. Nice color on the walls there. That definitely looks like a southwestern home. From the inside.
Actually,
Hopefully
it's
you
supposed
didn't
to
drink.
be.
Val, Mike,
roommate-
did you drink the water?
See, it's supposed to be all beach themed. That's why there's a big poster thing of beach. So
turquoise, yeah.
Yeah, there's
I got better
seashells and paintings of the water and all that kind of stuff. That's the theme of the living room.
I got better beach pictures than that.
But
So
if you would have
Mrs.
looked at
Mike's up for Mrs. Mike is up for Mrs. Val Mike's up for a visit.
yeah, but she doesn't want to be on camera, so she's sitting at the table back that way.
Fair enough. Everybody has their preferences.
So, and because I wanted to
Sorry,
enjoy
I
the
just got
coffee
back.
and
If
everything,
anybody was talking to me,
since the roommates aren't here, yeah, that means I can, stream from the living room instead of just being cordoned off into my bedroom. I still might go outside to the car just so I can smoke later.
How many roommates you got?
2.
When
One is
I
a family friend that I've known literally my entire life, and her significant other.
my when I was going through my first divorce back in 2003, a buddy of mine in the Air Force, who is Mexican Hispanic, and yes, I make the distinction because I don't like just labeling them all the same thing. There was him. There was his 2 other people in there from the Air Force. We were all Air Force, and there were the 2 other folks. They were black. One was a black Christian. One was a black Muslim. And here you had me, the white guy, and literally we came up with a joke because I was sleeping on the couch, and it became, one of the guys said, we finally got a token white boy in the house. And it stuck the whole time I stayed there. I started getting called token all the damn time.
Basically, that's me when I'm at their house. Is I'm the token white boy because I don't speak much Spanish, and I'm the only, white American. She even made the joke when I got my coffee this morning because I got shots of espresso in it. She's like, "Oh, you're so white."
So, what is it? Americano Idioto or Idioto Americano?
No, it's a. I answered you.
You saw the guy what I was saying.
I thought you were saying Americano is also the type of coffee you can get with espresso. So I thought you were trying to say something, and I was like, no, it's a mocha with 6 shots of espresso.
And then you caught the reference I was making. Basically, you're
Once she said
American.
idiota. Yes, I'm an American.
An American idiot. Well, let's be honest. A lot of times, most Americans are stupid.
Yeah, one of the things that was funny is on our way up here, she was asking me why the HOV lanes have a +2 next to them on the signs.
Oh, 2 or more people.
Yeah, and but I had to explain to her that even though it's already the high occupancy vehicle, they have to specify that means 2 or more. And she's like, why? And I said, because how stupid the average American is.
I've actually, I've watched some movie. I watch a lot of movies that are, foreign done, and I see their road signs, and I'm like, these people have got to be more intelligent than us because I have no clue what they say, but they seem to understand it with no problem. So I'm like, we just got a problem in America because I know what you're talking about. It's like the carpool lane. You must have at least 2 people in the car. Yeah, because we're stupid and we can't figure out, carpool lane means more than one person in the car, so we had to put the 2+ on it. That's how fucking stupid we are.
Yep. Uh-oh. What are
It's
you
like
trying
we
to
have
do?
to. It's like, oh, it's another one. Another one, Mike. We actually have to put signs on the road to ensure people know it's a bike lane, because somehow having a wide white line is not good enough, because we're too stupid to know that.
Well,
There's
it's
some
not
motion
just we
pictures
have to
going
have
on.
the lane. We have to have it marked on the road in white paint that it's the bike lane every 12 feet. And we have to have signs every, 24 feet saying that it's a bike lane. And we have to have other markers indicating it's the bike lane, because you know that there's going to be some dumb guy driving in that lane the entire time, running over guys on their bikes because he's not paying attention.
That's why we have red lines for buses, green lanes for bikes, and everything else is for cars.
Oh, I know. I mean, I lived in California for 7 years. I lived in NorCal for 7 years. Trust me, that's why I'm making all these jokes.
And Mike, if you want some good pictures, I got some good ocean pictures for you. Beach pictures.
Oh,
Well, I've got the thing up. You can go through it if you
is
want.
that Mexico?
No, this is Hawaii.
Oh, that's Hawaii. Okay. Well, look, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, this is Elihu's Facebook, not mine.
Oh, okay.
Twitter. I don't have Facebook.
Is that
Whatever.
Moss?
Twitter, Facebook, it's all the same thing.
Was that Moss? No, that couldn't have been Moss.
That last picture was a fallen palm tree.
No. I meant the one before it. I thought it might have been Moss, but I was like, wait a minute. Moss doesn't do that.
No. It's basically it was seagrass on the lava rocks.
Oh man, I haven't seen seagrass since Florida.
I haven't seen
yeah,
grass since I last saw Elihu in person.
Look what I got yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh, nice.
Turn it on.
I remember
Turn it
seeing
on.
that on Facebook a few times.
Turn it on.
Okay, it does do it. Does it make the sound effect?
No sound effect.
That's still
Infinite-
fucking cool though.
Infinite mirror. Pretty cool.
Yeah, but the light needs to be blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well, honestly, it's not even white. It's funny too because you can see the strip. Yeah, I mean you can basically see the LED strip.
But it looks like it's a
it's
white
like
light.
yellow. It should be like blue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be like blue and white, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got Stargate SG-1 in Atlantis, but
and it's weird because
been a while since
I don't know
I've
if I can
watched them.
show this. Okay, so
Yeah, I've seen this before
There's-
on Facebook advertised. It looks really good.
there's 2 missing chevrons.
Well, it might not be licensed. That's probably why.
Oh, you think this isn't licensed? It's possible.
Conjunction. What's your
It's your function. Oh, I get what you're saying, Mrs. Vile.
No, Kronos. I'm not going to start an argument with Darren right now.
But this is still a thing.
Same thing with Xing. Oh, crossing.
Oh,
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I get it. I get what I get where the confusion is for her.
Not only that, when I went to see some family in Texas, how do you think they pronounced that? When they had a sign called Xing, or Xing, do they pronounce it Xing or crossing?
Zing.
I'm pretty sure they say. I mean, they either say zing or crossing.
They say zing, and I'm like,
I thought it was Chinese too.
Zing.
See,
They're
where
all
I
Chinese.
grew up,
It was
see, where I
Chinese.
grew- yeah, Mike, when where I grew up in the Midwest most of my life, this was, I grew up. Well, okay, I grew up in a town that had power plants and stuff like that. It was steel workers. It was a steel mill town. So we had a lot of train tracks. I grew up around listening to train tracks all the time. So, that sign with the Xing on it was very prevalent, and we just all called it crossing. When I left, when I joined the military, this is when I found out people didn't know what a viaduct was, because I kept saying it, and people were like, what the hell is a viaduct?
You mean a viaduct?
No, we pronounce it viaduct, but I know what you're saying.
Oh, you want to see something really weird? Let me show you. Hang on. Let me find it. It's on my camera roll still.
But I got back home one time to visit my daughter, and one of her friends said, yeah, I was going over the viaduct, and I was like, oh my fucking God, it's been so long since I heard another person say that word. For those of you who don't know, basically a viaduct is just like an overpass or a bridge over dry land.
Well, it's a water bridge over dry land.
Or it's an overpass over a train track. At least that's how it was for us. That was one of the things we had back in my hometown. They finally created that viaduct they had been telling us about, because we had this one major road. If you took a left or a right on this Namioki road here, if we had heavy trains go through a lot. So they eventually built a viaduct over it. I got back one year and saw they finally completed it, and I had to relearn how to get around my city, my home city, with that thing, because I didn't know how they did the new turnarounds and stuff. First time I did it, I just went straight over the viaduct.
I wanted to show Mrs. Vile this. Mrs. Vile, if you think the English language is hard and confusing, this is Hawaiian. Everything here is Hawaiian. Look how many vowels there are. Kamamaulo, Kaneaiania, Kapauai. Yeah, Hawaiian is harder than English, okay? I had to take a picture this time, like, what the hell with all these vowels? Lili Uakualani.
One of the only things I know how to say in Hawaiian is the name of their state fish, which is the Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Pu'a.
You mispronounced it. Ooh.
I don't care if I mispronounced it. I'm still saying that in a way that they will understand.
Yeah, but you got to know about the vowels are pronounced u. No long vowels. That's how the vowels are pronounced.
The Spanish. It's pretty similar to Spanish.
She's saying that it's very similar to Spanish. Why don't you just
Kinda, yeah.
come over here?
It'd probably be easier for her to comprehend than our language, because our language, I mean, I don't remember who said it on here, but basically English is a really bastardized language, and I 100% agree. Oh, that was you, Mike. No, I 100% agree, because our language is shite.
Our language just steals stuff from other languages and
then tries to make it its own. Like we haven't done that before in our
How does it steal when those other languages still have their words?
Oh, they have them, but we fuck them up.
People keep misusing the word steal. It's like, if you steal something, that means they no longer have it and you have it.
It's like decimate. It's you disrupting 10%.
Okay, I'll give you a better term. We assimilated it and we corrupted it.
Yeah.
all right, everybody be quiet. for a second.
Assimilate, I agree with. We assimilate other languages.
Bird, you got to say your thing. Apparently, I got yelled at for not saying howdy, folks. So you got to say your thing.
Hello world, it's Birdo35, Kapla.
Yeah, and Darren, in that case, I think we're using steal as more of not necessarily theft or anything like that. We're just using it as a placeholder name for
Because you
words
hate
like
America.
assimilate, or as JP said, derive. Because let's face it, the average human nomenclature and vocabulary is very poor in this country, so we tend to use substitute words all the time.
Can't say I
Yeah, see, we're
disagree with-
stealing the cultural heritage, that we're taking value
Okay,
away
LDG,
from the word.
LDG, we didn't
Heritage
say
is
anything
as
about
weird.
cultural heritage. We're talking about language.
As we
That's what I'm
manifest our
talking about.
destiny
The
across
language
globe.
has a culture to it. There's a cultural value to a word.
Everything's
And if
fine.
we just take that word and use it for whatever the hell we want, we diminish that word. We took value from that word.
When I was learning, I was trying to learn Spanish a couple of years ago, and after about 3-4 months, I also had a lady who was first generation from Mexico, and she was helping me with it while I was learning it. I had to stop because my wife went to Turkey for a year, and I had to take care of the kids, so I had to put that off play. But I'm going to be freaking honest. What I learned about the Spanish language, I thought it was way easier to learn. And I was like, man, I want to learn this. And so this next year, I really want to learn it because I actually like the language. I like the way they spell stuff because it is way easier to spell a Spanish word than it is to spell a freaking English word. Because you can actually pronounce all the freaking letters except for one.
How do you spell
There's
Ayo?
only like one letter that's silent I know of.
How do you spell Ayo?
Tracasilian. Okay, Tracasilian is a little bit harder.
A-A-A-O.
No.
That's how you spell AO. A-A-A-O.
I thought it was
Pretty sure.
A-L-L-O.
Consonant.
A-I-O.
Double L is yo.
And
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
get annoyed.
Better.
I actually get annoyed when I
Ben.
hear. I get.
Oh God!
Mike,
No, okay. Hold on.
sorry.
Sorry. Mrs. Vile's going to explain something because I was wrong. So she's going to explain this because apparently,
And I was right.
up until last year,
Never.
AA was its own letter, but apparently it's no longer its own letter. So
Yeah, now it's basically 2 L's, and it's not a J anymore. The double L was called J, and does not exist. It's double L. The sound is the same, but they basically changed the phonema. I don't know how to say phonema in English. I don't know if it's the same word.
All right, so it
Basically,
is
it's now-
double L then.
Now toward,
Okay.
it's now toward,
You heard it here,
tortilla.
folks.
Yeah.
LDG
tortilla.
schooling.
I'm not mansplaining Kronos. I'm letting her explain because I was wrong.
Yes, and it's now tortilla. Gotcha.
Fight me.
Well, one of the things I like about the Spanish language too is I actually like how they do it a little differently. Like, for example, black shirt, camiseta blanco.
No, that's
Blanco's white.
Blanco is white.
Blanco white.
Oh, did I say? Oh, God!
Is everybody upside
down
there?
Negro is black.
Negro's black.
In trouble.
Negro.
yeah.
That's what
Hey,
happens
don't
in the
say
West
that
Coast.
word.
Fine.
Don't say
Sorry,
that
that was
word
my fault.
out.
I fucked up. I should have said camiseta negro.
Blanco.
My
You fell for the
apologies.
obvious
Fuck that
trap. I love that. Spanish has built-in traps just in case people try to pretend
Yeah.
they know
What the
Spanish.
hell are you talking about?
Blanco
LDG?
is one of them.
It's an anti-gringo language. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I
You
like.
know,
Take it to the white guy. Just think Blanco is black.
I love how they say the colors. But I'll be honest with you, one of the hardest words I tried to learn when it was a color was, and I still fuck it up, is saying orange in Spanish. That is the one I am just the worst at. And the other thing,
like
I
naranja
cannot
or
roll.
something like
What's that?
Naranja?
Naranja.
Naranja.
Yeah,
Naranja. She did.
Yeah.
She put a
Sounds like a food.
on it.
Naranja.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah, exactly. Naranja. Now, azul, I can say.
Azul,
gris,
not
I can say
azul.
very
It's not a
easily.
single zool.
But what I'm saying, but another thing too is when I hear people, especially in America, they're like when people are talking in Spanish, and they're like, oh, they're just using that accent to condescend or pander. I'm like, no, actually, when I was learning it, it's easier for me to do it with that particular thing than me trying to say it like a white guy.
Sorry, I like
The only way
JP's
you have
comment.
What's so
My
white
extent of
about it?
Spanish, une cerveza part avor.
Yeah, par favor. I love that. Par favor. Yeah. It's por favor. Spell it phonetically if you can't. Although the English language sucks because if you look in the dictionary how it's spelled phonetically, you won't find it anywhere under the letter F.
Yeah, but the problem is if you spell it in, if you actually, spell if you spell it out in Spanish, it's easy because all the letters are pretty much sounded out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
I
want
just
to
like
know,
Spanish because it's not racist like English is.
Oh God, I'm not going there.
Yeah, I'm not going there either, LDG, because I think you're doing.
I'm trying to
No,
avoid
that is true. No, wait, hold up. No,
You're racist.
in English, you say the black shirt, right? It's not a black shirt. It's a shirt that's black, right? You got to give pronunciation to what you're calling. And in Spanish, you say the shirt that is black. The shirt is the most important thing. Whether it's black or white doesn't matter. But humans in English, it's systemic. It's systemic to call something black before or white or the color it is before what we're actually talking about.
In English,
it's the way the language
with a wolf face.
One person at a time. People call hello.
You say the
it's
wolf
the way the language
with a fold.
I can't hear nobody.
That's because everyone's trying to tell you you're wrong at the same time.
Yes, because
I'm right.
It's the way the culture is, dude. Spanish the noun goes before the adjective. English, the adjective.
That's why you find more racist Americans than you do Spanish people.
How?
They put the modifier
I'm sorry,
in
people
front of
who
the
are
noun.
Spanish.
Doesn't make them. Yeah, it doesn't make them racist.
No, but it does breed them.
Everything's fine, LDG. You don't have to create
them to see that
problems where there's.
Oh, there's a big problem there. You might not see it, but you think the world's flat. So I don't know.
There's no problem.
Shut up, LDG. We're not going to dig on Darren for that right now. Maybe on a specified episode, but this is a short episode, so I can have my live stream before I go to the storage unit and work for all day on my 1 day off.
LDG's having an episode, all right.
I think he wants to start an argument.
Well, the one thing I
not an argument, a conversation.
I'm terrible at when it comes to Spanish is I cannot say radio because I can't in Spanish speak. Yes, because I can't roll my R that way. There's only one.
I can't roll my R's either.
There's only one name I can roll my R to, and that's my mother's actual true way you say her name, because the way it is pronounced in America.
Maria?
No. Let me finish.
Maria.
No, my mother is part of Italian descent. So her name is Teresa. But that's the English version. Her actual proper way to say it is Teresa. There's Teresa and then there's Teresa. They are actually different.
Well, I mean, if I ever want to draw, the easiest way is to trace it.
You guys never learned how to roll your R's?
I don't think it's a learnable trait. I don't have the ability to do that.
Let me put it this way. Saying radio. I can't
roll my R's is because my uncle was a pure-blooded Scotsman. And by imitating his accent is how I learned how to roll my R's.
Yeah, and listening to my Italian grandmother, that's how I learned how to say my mother's name properly when I say Teresa. But when I say radio in Spanish, I can't roll my R, and it comes out sounding stupid when I say radio. Yeah, because I can't roll the goddamn R.
I think he's saying the difference between radio and radio.
Okay. And as far as I remember, in Italian, you use the first R like a very soft R, but in Spanish, if the R is in the middle, it has to be soft. For example, my name is Marisol, but radio, like the R is at the beginning, it's to be radio. So it was fine. Radio, it's fine in Spanish.
Well, he's saying radio. He's doing the soft R.
Radio.
Yeah, I did my
No,
my
yeah.
thing
So
is,
what
like I
about
said,
two
I,
R's,
I,
like
I have trouble.
You're right.
I have trouble rolling that
Radio.
R. I
It's
can't roll my
radio.
tongue. Yeah, I have
Try-
trouble doing my tongue. Now, like her.
How
her
did
name-
you say this word?
Okay, in Italian, should be ravioli, very soft, but in Spanish is ravioli.
Okay. I was just wondering because Kronos is saying stuff. So how are you going to say this one? Just say it.
Druls. In Spanish,
Druls.
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 Sorry.
There's a way
I'm having
to,
fun.
there's a way to train your tongue to roll your R's. Try trying 2 cherry sticks with your tongue. Okay, that'll help with your
I'm
R's.
sorry. Say that again. Shoot me the link. Shoot me the link to that because I would
Try-
actually like to know how to
try-
roll my R's.
Yeah, try tying 2 cherry stems with your tongue. That'll help.
Kronos, I am in the house, which means I don't smoke when I'm inside the house. And I have my coffee. I just didn't put anything in it because I was actually going to grab a Fireball from the 7-Eleven where we got coffee. But I was going to share it with Mrs. Vile, and I forgot she doesn't really like cinnamon, especially in her coffee. So I was like, yeah, I'll pass on it.
I only recently tried Fireball. I found I
I'll
liked
be
it,
learning
but it
German
didn't like
next
me-
year.
it
It's in
didn't
my
like me
budget.
too much.
I'll learn how to roll my tongue from the fatherland.
Sorry, what was that? Was kind of a weird segue, Darren. What'd you say?
We were talking about languages, and I'm like, I'll be learning German next year. It's in
awesome.
my budget, and I'll learn. If I have to roll my tongue for that, I'll learn the way the Germans do it.
Yeah, my
one
friend Nikki is a full-blooded German, and she actually is a translator for the German ambassador to the UN.
They're
And even
lovely.
she has said that one of the hardest languages for her to, now that she knows a bunch of languages, even though it's the one she grew up with, she's like German, Russian, and English are 3 of the hardest languages she's had to learn
Well, it should be.
because they
Kronos,
don't
I
follow
can
the,
speak
like
damn
every other
Spanish.
language follows very similar rules for their region, except those 3.
Right.
So can I,
Well, it's
Kronos?
like-
Du hast mich gefragt.
Everybody pronounces German brand names incorrectly out here too. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
well,
like,
I mean, you
Adidas?
guys
Not
know
like-
how to say.
Like Adidas, you know.
That's what she just said. She just said Adidas, but we say Adidas.
Yeah.
Do you know how to say? I'm not smoking any weed. I don't have any weed right now. That's why I'm drinking.
I have weed.
The Germans
Well,
don't
yeah, you
smoke-
can smoke it
don't
for-
smoke
you can
weed.
smoke
I
it
don't
for
know where you
yourself.
heard
I-
that they did, but they don't.
Oh, I know plenty of Germans that smoke weed.
That was a
Oh, I
joke.
know plenty.
And I got vape.
I will say this. I've
Actually-
met several Germans in my life. I've met several Russians. I will say this about the Russians and the Germans, but mostly the Russians. They are very passionate people. And some of the things I saw them do would make, and it's just normal for them, would make Americans blush. Because it's like I literally was working in a gas station when these Russians come in, and literally one of the Russians kissed another Russian male on the lips for whatever reason. I don't know what the context was to it, but I know what the Italian context would be. But they were just joking and having fun, and they just did not care. They were open about it.
Well,
They
probably
weren't even gay. They were
What-
just
what do you
friends.
know?
But this was
Probably were
normal for
gay.
them.
I doubt it. Sorry.
Kind of like in the Netherlands where guys can hold hands in public and nobody thinks bad enough.
Yeah. Sorry. Maybe growing up in Puritan the United States, yeah, that still seems a little bit iffy to me. But of course, I think it's weird when, as I said, my friend Nikki, whenever I see her, she does that whole kiss on the cheek thing. And I don't even like that from my friends. And she's a female.
Yeah, actually, that is something Midwesterners, especially in the South Midwest, that is very normal for us. But I had to not do it. It's kind of a greeting we have, and I was used to it, and I had to stop doing it because it was creeping men out.
Yeah.
But
Unless
There
you're
was
watching
a-
a mob
this is
movie
true.
or something, you know. And
There's a cultural difference when you kiss on the cheek in France. In France, one kiss is on one cheek is basically saying hi, friendly. Both kisses basically means like long lost friend. I haven't seen you in a while. It's a little protocol. It's why you see people kiss on one cheek or on both cheeks in French. France.
Actually, the way my family raises, it was generally one kiss on one side of the cheek was a greeting, two kisses on both sides of the cheek was a goodbye.
Oh,
That's how I was raised with it. I'm comfortable with it. I'm serious.
Sure,
A guy could come up and kiss me on my cheek, and it is a greeting, and it would not faze me.
there's got to be someone who's written a paper about the sociology of that particular thing, and the ways it's done in different regions of the world.
yeah. Franz Van Gogh did a special on that a couple years ago.
That actually, now that we were talking about it, I actually want to read a paper about not the etymology. What's the cultural version of the word etymology, of how that kind of thing how the thing is brought about and why certain cultures do it, why certain cultures don't. I mean, I live in Southern California. That is not something we do here, despite the fact that we are a very open culture here. At least when it comes to most of the United States, it's still not something we do.
Yes, Kronos, if I met you and I was greeting you, if you were if you're okay with it, yes, I would kiss you on the cheek. Because I would
Never
kiss
go
you
to
on the cheek
Indiana.
as a greeting, and then I kiss you on both cheeks afterwards, basically to say goodbye
No.
when we were done. It was
I'm
part of
not
the way
saying
we
you're
grew up.
wrong for doing that, MB. I'm just saying I wouldn't be comfortable with it.
Yeah,
but
exactly. And I
you-
ran into that a
You know
lot.
what I mean?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
Remember-
know. I totally understand. That's why. Look, there were a lot of
You
things.
say you
that,
ran into it a lot?
Remember,
Yes,
he's
when
lip on men.
Okay, I'm trying to be. I'm trying to have I'm trying to actually have a reasonable conversation here, guys. Can we cut?
No,
the
I
jokes
understand.
down?
I'm not saying
No,
But
I just-
what I'm saying
I
is,
get
when I
it.
joined the military, I realized this was my first experience in learning the other cultures around America. That's why I say we're an extremely diverse culture. California is different from New York, from Florida to Texas to the people in the Midwest. I mean, we're just culturally different. It's like, for example, when I hear somebody tries to say, "Oh, bless your heart," I'm like, I know you're insulting me.
Oh, bless your heart. Yeah.
Well, it also
But I
depends on
wouldn't say
where they're from, and they're saying that. When for my family in Texas, that's not an insult, but a couple states over in Georgia, oh, that's definitely an insult.
Oh yeah, you go to Georgia and say
Oh,
that.
you know what the worst
Those are
insult
fighting words.
for my people is? Not burping after a meal. Biggest insult ever.
One
What's
of the
your
biggest,
people?
but yeah, bless your
Syrian.
heart. I heard somebody say that the other
Syrian?
day.
Yep.
I heard somebody say that the other day in the gas station. And I think they meant it as a compliment, and I just cringed like all hell. I was like, oh. And they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "You do understand?" I'm like, I'm from the southern part here. I'm like, that's not a compliment to us. That's an insult.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in
No, in the
Southern
South and in the
California,
southern Midwest, that is an insult.
look at this. In Southern California, most California, when somebody does something wrong, they go, "My bad." That's the version of saying, "I'm sorry." Like, you just admitted your fault. Yeah, that wasn't an apology. But in Southern California and part of California, "my bad" is an accepted apology. But if you go say
Exactly.
that, "my bad" in New Hampshire, like, yeah, you just admitted your fault. When are you going to apologize? My bad. Okay, you admitting your fault. When are you going to
Another thing here
apologize?
that I've noticed
Oh,
in
God,
Southern
that used to
Well,
annoy me
normally
so
that's why I
much in
usually say
California.
sorry, my bad.
well,
Usually it goes together.
in
The word
the
sorry
other
does
thing I
not
noticed-
out of people's lips.
Hold on. The other thing I noticed about Southern California, we don't tend to say "you're welcome" anymore. We say "no worries."
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries, no
Yep,
problem.
no worries.
We don't
And it's
say
like-
you're welcome here either. We say yup.
Yeah, because you're welcome's turning into an insult now.
Actually, no worries is kind of, I think, crossed over into the cultures, because if you see something I say to a lot of people, I'll say, yeah, no worries. I'm just like,
Yeah,
because
that's
it
slang
means,
in
hey,
my
it's no
book.
big deal to me.
What about good afternoon? Have you seen Spirited? Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Good
no
afternoon.
worries is something is like, I'm about to walk on your yard. No worries. I mean,
How
But
do you
California is also very diverse. I mean, you have NorCal, South Cal, or SoCal, sorry.
Eastern Cal, Western,
Well, we've got
Mountain,
the Valley, we've got NorCal, we got SoCal,
Bay.
we've got Jefferson. What else do we got, Elihu?
I don't know. Why is it called
Napa, Humboldt.
SoCal? Why is it called SoCal when it's the South?
Borderlands,
Because SO is the first two letters of South.
But a lot of times I hear it sounds like you guys put an L in there. Like
No,
Mexico.
it's SoCal.
that's I think
California.
that's
CAL.
SoCal,
that's
as in
Louisiana. Everything's got some
Southern
soul in it.
California.
No, I
desert,
get that, but I
high
heard a
desert.
lot of SoCal people pronounce it as soul, like they added an L to
Oh.
it, and it always confused me.
Nobody ever.
And I don't know if I was just hearing.
Yeah, I think
it
you were
wrong or not.
hearing that.
Yeah, that might have been just the way your ears work.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing the military did not fuck me over on. I actually do have good ears. That was the one nice thing when I got out of when I was doing my retirement. I was doing my final physical. My hearing is pretty much the same as it was when I joined. Now, granted, I
Minus
don't know if
the
that's a good thing or not.
static degradation
hearing's
of your ears that everybody
20/20.
has.
Oh, trust me, my eyes are not 20/20. I just don't have my glasses on.
Hell, I'm old. I got bifocals now.
So does my wife. She keeps thinking I need bifocals, but her and my prescriptions are completely different because my problem is I have astigmatism.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys.
But unfortunately,
Wow.
my eyes
That's
So-
contagious.
unfortunately, my eyes have deteriorated. I used to have 20/25 vision. Now I've got like 20/35.
Well, what's funny is
Oh, it's been
I actually
decimated.
I'm wearing the same lenses
No.
that I've had for well over 10 years. And I say much to the chagrin of Mrs. Vile, because she always wants me to get new glasses. But it's like my vision hasn't gone down in the last 15, 20 years at all. And it's just kind of interesting because like my daughter, Caddy's vision has gotten much worse in one eye and much better in the other eye. Because she's legally blind in one eye.
I used to have
My left eye is my weak.
I had to wear glasses.
My left eye is my weak eye. That's the one I get the 35 from. Also, with astigmatism, I have almost no depth perception. What I mean is, I really cannot judge distance. Well, I can judge distance now to a point, but it took me a long time to have to figure out how to do that. Because I didn't know I had this problem, because when I joined the Marine Corps, they did not give me a depth perception test. But when I joined the Air Force, they did give me a depth perception test. So they put these glasses on me and are like, there's like all these little bows. It's like, which one's standing out? I'm like, the first one. They're like, what about the rest of them? I'm like, I don't see anything. I'm like, I see it, but I don't see anything like standing out like it's 3D.
You know what it took me?
So they said, you have poor depth perception. And I was
You know what
like,
took me?
Hold on. Go ahead. Hold on, Emmy. What are you trying to say, LDG?
I don't know if he was done or not. Sorry. You know, it took me
The
over
stories
20 years
just
to
go
figure
on
out how
and
to
on,
see.
man.
Yeah, I know. It's MB. It's all good. Listen, it took me 20 years to figure out how to actually, like, I would almost say it took me 30 years because I haven't till recently, the last couple of years. Figured out how to see those damn things that are just like color messes, and you have to like
like
look
malls?
past them.
The eye
photo,
thing.
whatever they call.
Oh, the magic
things,
eye
yeah.
things.
Yeah, the magic eye things, and I could
I hate
never
those.
get it in
It took you
school.
20
Never
years to
could see
figure
it.
out how to do
Never.
magic
I mean,
eye.
dude, I would look like an idiot trying to stare at one of these things. I
Like an
can't
idiot
see shit.
regardless.
And then finally, someone told me a trick, and then oh my
this
god,
motherfucker
I
again
thought it was a
for me.
scam. I thought these things were a scam. I'm
someone,
like, you guys don't see shit. This is a joke.
one of
You're
the
just
bots
fucking
with
with me.
I
I
can't
got
do
it.
from
I
15
got
yards.
it. I got it.
This
Thank you,
guy's
Bird.
been
Yep, yep.
popping up. This guy's been popping up on a few other people's places I've seen too.
Who?
This bot. But
Bot.
anyway, continue.
Yeah, the only bot that's allowed.
No,
in
no,
my
I'm just saying.
chat
I
is
just finally
streaming
found it, and I was like,
bot.
holy shit. And I spent like an hour going online looking at a whole bunch now that I could actually do it. And I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. Stereo vision.
So you have a bit of color blindness?
No,
No,
I
talk
just
about
didn't
the
know how
magic eye
to look
things.
past the image, because you're supposed to look beyond the image in order to see
okay.
it like peripherally.
Oh,
And,
okay, I gotcha.
Once my
I never
eyes
had a
got
problem
used
with
to
those.
doing that, and there's difficulty too. Some of them are harder to look at than others. I mean, they even got a program that you can create your own. But that was so cool when I finally figured out how to see those things.
I'll tell you what, one of the greatest inventions I thought was the backup camera for my truck. Because I love driving a truck, but I couldn't get the depth perception down. So I can't tell you how many times I backed up, got out of my truck, made sure I was not, not about to hit this guy's vehicle or something. And sometimes people saw me do that and they'd back me up, making sure I was good. And it just was what it is. I have piss poor depth perception. Even with glasses, I can't really
Right.
do it well.
He's talking about one of these.
Okay.
Oh, the 3D
Yeah.
pictures. Gotcha. 3D
I have
pictures.
never been
Okay.
able to do that. So the fact that you can, LDG, you taught yourself how to do it is kind of impressive. I've never been able to look at one of those things and be
Just
able to tell
look
what it is.
past it.
I've actually never seen this before.
You've never seen these things?
Not this type of thing. No, I've never seen it before.
Yeah, it's
What's-
3 zebras.
Yeah, it's kind of like the movie Mallrats. You're staring at it. Oh, sailboats,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah. And the guy's like, "We
Can't burn off
can't
my
this is a sailboat."
I remember when I saw one and I was like, okay, it's Bob Marley. They're like, how do you see that? I'm like, I have no fucking clue. I just know it's Bob Marley.
You have to kind of relax your eyes and,
That's
I'm
hard
just
for me to
totally
do
looking
on. That's hard for me to do on a computer screen.
I'm
Now, if
trying
this
to do
was
it. I
on-
can't do it. I can see the pieces. Like I can tell it's supposed to be a zebra thing, but I can't. Yeah, anything else? It's just like no.
Oh, you can
I'm
see it's
down.
supposed to be a zebra thing because it's clearly zebra skinned, but
Yeah,
Well, what I'm saying, what I would do with this is, if this was on an actual paper, I might be able to see it, but I have trouble distinguishing things that are on paper versus things like this. I can see better on paper than I can on a screen. I don't know
well,
why.
they definitely say doing the magic eyes from a computer screen is a lot harder. So
It is.
I can't see shit.
and I'm giving up on
honestly,
it.
I see like it feels like there's mountains on top and bottom and a valley in the middle. It's hard to see detail.
Don't worry, Mike. I'm drinking plenty for both of us.
Yvette says it was 3 zebras, 1 sitting and 2 standing.
Now,
Was it
see,
playing
if I
poker?
saw that on paper, I'd probably know it. I'd probably be able to
Was it
see it,
drinking-
but
Yeah. What the zebras drinking tea or playing poker? I couldn't see anything. Hi, Yvette.
Yeah, and also when someone tells you
Oh,
to, you
I
got to
was
look
muted.
past the image.
God damn it, Vile.
What?
You should. I was staring at that, and then you like cut it off immediately. It's like takes somebody off out of VR in the middle of being plugged in. It's like, oh God, my eyes. Good shit.
He crashed into his computer screen. His face is all bloody now.
But I saw that one. You have to look for the outline for that one.
And Yvette, I did send you a message on Facebook, but I didn't tell you who I was, so I'm wondering if you even paid attention to it. I just said howdy, and I thought maybe she'll figure it out that it's me from that, but I'm going to do it again right now so you know it's me. Kronos is saying he's never done VR. Does Revolver count? Or Evolver? Or whatever that movie was with John Delancey?
I only know what VR Wachowski.
Have you guys ever seen that movie?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Oh, it had John Delancey as the big bad scientist dude. It was about a robot.
Never heard of it.
Oh man, hold on.
John Delancey, filmography. What was it called, you said?
Evolver. Also has John William H. Macy. Here, I'm going to see if I can
Was it
share
made
this.
for TV movie?
I only ever saw it on TV, so it might have been. This thing. Have you guys ever seen this?
Revolver. There we go. 1995 direct-to-video horror science fiction film. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Oh, God.
Direct-to-video.
I might have to do a video on this one because I loved this movie as a kid.
Ooh.
Yeah, I watched this movie at 9 years old. Shoot, what am I trying to do?
No clue.
Okay, basically it's about this family is given this robot who it's kind of like from a video game.
Mhm.
And you're supposed to play with the robot, and each time you defeat the robot, it changes its body to be more menacing and more, scary looking a little bit. And finally, it gets so sick and tired of losing that instead of arming itself with its little Nerf balls and dart gun, like Nerf dart gun type thing, it puts knives in it. And it soaks the Nerf ammunition in gasoline to light it on fire so it can finally kill you instead of just playing fair.
Oh God.
And it's an awesome movie. It's a great concept.
The
It's
classic
very, very
AI trope. Oh Lord.
I'll tell you a good movie, guys.
That's like the
Violent Night.
real quick. Real quick. This is related. This is like that story of the kid who's playing the AI chess that moves the chess pieces, and the damn AI just says fuck it and grabs the kid's finger and breaks it. Real true story. Happened like last year.
It happened a long time.
AI
break
breaks
his finger?
human finger because the kid was
What do you mean,
stupid.
true
and he-
story.
True story. The kid didn't know. The kid was impatient, and
What do
he
you-
went to
what-
make a move, and he grabbed the piece that or he had his hand where the robot wanted to grab, and it grabbed his finger and broke his finger. I can pull it up. I tweeted about this when it happened.
Okay, but
AI
it
breaks-
wasn't the AI decided to break his finger.
Kid's finger. No, of course not. But it looked that
wasn't
way.
the AI's decision.
Now
to
it has.
present
Now it has the taste
It
of
was-
human blood.
it
Oh,
was
God.
the kid's
Taste
finger
anything.
got in the way
All right, guys.
of a
so-
robot that was programmed to move.
Yeah, it wasn't programmed to realize you're not grabbing a chess piece.
Okay, it's
So-
just the way it was presented.
Very simple.
The way you're presenting it, LDG, is the kid was.
I
being
know
annoying,
how
so
I'm
the
presenting
AI
it to make it sound like the AI is going to kill us all. I know that.
Well, that's the fucking problem.
No, there's
Yes,
no
you're-
problem. That's the funny part.
It's not funny.
You're supposed to laugh and say, "Oh, ha ha ha." Okay, very cute, and move on. Dear God, I mean, are you the kind of people that go to freaking comedian stands and question every joke the person puts out there, even though it's
Comedian
obviously
stands?
a joke?
If it's a bad
Comedian
joke,
stands? What is a comedian stand? It's like a lemonade stand?
it's
Yes,
in
like
the
a lemonade
cities. You know,
stand,
they have
but instead you're
stands
drinking jokes.
where there's comedians.
Comedian stand.
Stand
They're
up.
called comedy
Sorry,
shows.
comedian stand up. Okay,
They're called
that better?
comedy shows. Or stand-up shows, yeah.
Well, your comedy needs to sit back down.
Ooh, pardon me. All right.
Godzilla.
Can't get perfect without practice. I'm just talking to morons.
Morans.
Morans. Oh, I'm sorry, morons. Or you guys are Moranos. There we go. Wait, isn't that brown?
How do you say
Isn't
moron?
Morano brown? I don't know.
Just tonto?
That's not how they.
Estúpido tonto? Tonto?
I'm not tonto. Very funny. I know what that means.
Estúpido tonto.
And Dave.
No. No es stupido tonto.
Stupido.
Es
Mike,
inteligente.
ask Mrs.
Muy
Gonzalez
inteligente.
if she thinks America or Mexico has better caballos.
Camayos?
Caballos.
Camayos. Is that
Horses.
what, Camaro in Spanish?
Caballo.
Is that a car?
We can't understand what you're saying, MB. That's the problem.
Oh, I was saying caballos, and I was referring to horses.
Oh.
Yes.
Who has better horses, Mexico or the U.S.?
I have no.
Well, Mexico wouldn't have horses. Never mind.
She says she doesn't know, and I'm going to say the U.S. has the best tasting horses I've ever had.
Oh, God.
Horse is a little stringy.
Quick on
I
that
don't like
one.
the taste of it. I
Scary
like
enough.
the
You
taste
said
of
that
horse.
so fluently. I don't think you're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Have
I've
you ever
eaten
had
horse.
I knew it.
It's stringy. I don't like it.
Actually,
I've had it myself
I
before.
had South Carolina barbecued horse.
Hey,
Oh
if
my
I was
God.
if I had gotten to South Korea, I'd have tried the dog.
Pekingese is good.
Okay, first of all, you have to understand they actually have a specific breed of dog that they raise for consumption.
I
And
know
two,
that.
That's good.
And two, it tastes exactly like beef.
Chicken. Okay.
Chicken. Oh,
It's
Beef.
basically you couldn't tell the difference between it or beef.
Yes, but I actually know the fact that they have that they have a specific breed that they do that. I know that. I'd
well,
give
we're
it a
all made
shot.
out of food. So
Well, I did give it a shot. I mean, but I never got the chance to get to South Korea. I never got the chance to get to South Korea. My wife was supposed to get a 6-month station there, but we were trying to have our youngest daughter, and 2 weeks before she was supposed to go, we found out she was finally pregnant.
See, it's funny that JP's, we were talking about the way different cultures do certain things, and JP says no matter eating dog or cat is wrong. And I would disagree based on the culture. I mean, here in the United States, absolutely, that culture, we don't do that. But in some cultures, eating beef is incredibly wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are
Or
backward
pork.
cultures.
I don't.
Well, yeah.
I don't
Or
know what-
fish.
I've never had cat. I mean, I've eaten pussy, but I've never eaten cat.
Yeah, you eat pussy, but you never eat cat.
Okay, as I said that
Oh
joke,
my
I gotta do the or I gotta mime this out. I said that joke, and Mrs. Vile just goes,
Hey man, as Samuel L. Jackson said in Long Kiss Goodnight, hey, pussy's pussy.
sorry. But I've never eaten cat. I've only had dog once.
You've never eaten that you knew of.
Yes, that I know of.
That you know of, exactly. You go to some
Yeah, that's
places.
what I love. That's what I loved about that YouTube I saw a long time ago. Did you ever think when you eat Chinese, it's not pork or chicken, but a fat Siamese?
Yeah.
There was a very bad joke about Chinese places in the cats
Oh
being in the back
God, do
door.
I
can't
care
remember.
about sensitiveness?
No.
We don't care about sensitiveness as long as it's funny and not stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
When half the panel needs to leave right now.
No, you
No,
no,
Hey,
no,
like
you
Jules
know
said,
what
I'm
who lacks a
sensitive and I
sense
like
of
to stay that
humor?
way.
Oh, including
You know
me.
what who lacks a sense of humor here?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, you can divide almost every single animal in existence into 3 types of categories. Whether it tastes like fish, whether it tastes like chicken, or whether it tastes like beef.
Pretty much.
Or seafood.
That's fish. Yeah.
Yeah, seafood
Yeah,
is fish.
that's
No, I meant
fish,
like
genius.
shellfish. Fish does not taste like shellfish. It's completely
Okay,
different
he was
texture.
being general
Completely
here.
different.
Yeah.
Stop trying
Just
to
throwing some
overcomplicate
helpful
the goddamn-
information. That's it. Not
You
trying to dog them.
gotta eat some freshwater fish.
I don't know.
But,
I like. I don't know. I can agree with that to a point, but I do like the saltwater fish better.
Like, has anyone here had rattlesnake?
Yes.
right here.
No.
Okay, would you
Yes.
agree that it tastes like it has a texture of chicken with a slight tinge of shark?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I've
like
never
gator.
had shark.
I wouldn't
so
eat
can't
shark
make the
either.
Comparison. I've never had shark. I can't make that comparison
Okay.
part. But I
Well,
agree with the first part.
Elihu?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, he agrees. That's an apt description. So as long you can compare almost any one meat to those, whether it's a fish or chicken or beef. Venison,
I love
more
rattlesnake
flavorful
chili.
beef. Bison, more flavorful beef. Horse, basically beef.
Your more flavorful obviously doesn't agree with my definition of more flavorful, because I've never had venison or anything else that came as good beef. And if
Really?
venison was generally thought to taste better than beef, then we would have just domesticated deers instead of cows.
Deer.
Deer, not deers.
All right, but
Point not.
the thing is, venison
Whatever.
is very hard to domesticate some animals. That's
Well,
I think we
the funny
could have
thing is,
managed.
you know, when you shoot a deer and then you have it turned into steaks and stuff, you know what they blend the meat with in order to make it taste better?
Yes, I do. I worked at a butcher shop for a while.
Well, that was more of a question for everybody and it
Oh,
was more
sorry.
rhetorical than anything else. But yeah,
I
they blend it with beef.
Whenever we butchered a deer that we killed, we didn't blend it with anything that I can think of.
Okay, well,
The USDA
Wisconsin,
says
where
that,
where deer hunting is a major event every year.
it's USDA law that certain meats have to be blended with a certain percentage of beef.
Wouldn't they just feed it
Certain
beef?
percentage of what?
No, they won't eat beef.
Beef in certain states, USDA regulates it. Like in California, you can have 100% bison. Oregon, you have to have 90% bison, 10% beef.
Isn't the USDA a federal agency?
Yes.
Yeah, but the
Why
regular
would
per
it
state.
differ on a per state basis?
Because
That's what it is.
chances are California has its own USDA.
Well, every state has its own.
No, it's a
version of
federal-
Oh yeah, I know every state does.
Yeah,
I,
the
and, you know, I'm
USDA
with
federal
Carlos
regulates
on this
food.
one. I found lamb to be very salty.
That's good. I had lamb yesterday.
Now I found
That's a lot
lamb to be
good to
very
do.
salty. I don't know if I got bad lamb, but every
It
time I
depends. It
got it,
depends on what part of the lamb you're talking about, because lamb can be very fatty, and that's where you're getting the salt from.
yeah, and I think that's what I was getting.
And
When it comes to steaks, I'm a ribeye guy.
Too
Well,
fatty.
I mean, I like ribeyes just as much as anyone else. I've always stuck with T-bones. I know it's technically a horrible cut, but it was the first steak I ever had was a T-bone, so I've always been partial to them.
What's wrong with the T-bone?
It's considered a poor man's cut of meat off the cow.
It's got a New York strip on one side and a piece of filet mignon
I
on
know.
the other. I mean, it's basically.
I know, and it's still
what's
considered a
man
poor
about
man's
that?
steak. It's weird.
That is dumb.
I've never heard of that.
I can't find a T-bone.
Filet mignon. Oh God, I love filet mignon.
Maybe, and
I
I'm
haven't
just
had this
curious.
yet.
I'll go with a nice roast of anything when it comes to,
Oh, I love roast. I don't think there's I don't think there's much of a part of a pig I haven't eaten.
Mm. Have you ever had
Okay,
pickled
lips.
pig's feet? NB, have you ever had pickled pig's feet?
Yummy.
No, but I've heard of them.
Oh,
Anybody here have kangaroo?
I've had kangaroo. My buddy, not Justin. My buddy Jake. Every time he comes to California from Australia, he brings me a can of kangaroo.
Back in the 90s, my stepfather would leave once a year from Florida to go back to Rochester, New York. We lived in Jacksonville, Florida, where he had his business. But he'd go up to Rochester, New York, and get himself a buck. And he always came back with one. And oh my God, deer jerky is just like heaven. I love it.
Oh yeah, we used to
Amazon
definitely. We had a homemade, not smoker, but or not the. It was basically a thing we had outside where it would let air come in, but not really let anything else come in, and we'd dry out some of the things we hunted, and we'd put rabbit in there, we'd put deer in there, we'd put everything, and have jerky the rest of the summer and into the winter.
Sounds like heaven. Sounds like fucking heaven, right there.
I'm looking on Amazon, and the only thing with canned kangaroo is dog and cat food.
Yeah, one of the things I can't stand is the ignorance of people who, when they see people hunt, when they see hunters like my cousin and other people I know, they get a buck or they get a turkey or something, and they're just like, "Oh, you just get." I'm like, dude, we use every part of the fucking thing. We didn't just kill it to kill it. We actually cook it and eat it. We get it skinned properly. We cook and eat it. But they're so focused on the fact that people have them on their goddamn walls, which for people like me is normal to see. But we use the meat. We have butcher shops. The one butcher shop I was working at for a little bit, I wanted to update their Facebook page, and like, no, we've got enough business. We can't do anymore. We are good. So it's really amazing the ignorance of some people in those kind of things. I don't think you guys are like that, but you have some people who just think they just kill the thing and get the head chopped off and taxidermy it, and I'm like, you are so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Although, like I know that in Alaska, they have a real problem now with the polar bear population. They're considering a culling. In a situation like that, I can see. Yeah.
Wait a minute. There's a polar bear issue in Alaska, really? I would have thought. Maybe I'm ignorant. I would have thought it would have been more of a black bear.
No, they're
Not
going
that far
down
north.
south because the ice is melting. They're going into the city more. Yeah, North Pole has had a couple sightings recently. I've been looking.
I've never had elk or buffalo. Kronos, I've never had elk or buffalo. I never have.
I I've had elk, but I've had European elk. I haven't had anything. I don't know if there is an American elk or anything like that, but I haven't had that. Buffalo I've had all the time because my uncle's ranch here in San Diego, out in Ramona, his neighbor had a buffalo farm. So we had buffalo all the time.
Okay, so Ramona or Pomona? Is there actually a place?
Ramona.
Huh?
Ramona, not
Okay.
Pomona.
I was just asking because I didn't
know.
know if there was actually a place. I'm sorry, I watched Die Hard the other day because, as I do every year, the last 15 years, it's just not the Christmas season until Hans drops off at Nakatomi Plaza.
That's
Well,
the
there
only
is,
can. That's the
there
only
is a
kangaroo I
city
can
called
find.
Pomona, and then there's one called Ramona.
Oh, cool.
That's the only kangaroo I could find on Amazon, and they're sold out of the chili. All they have
But
is.
this is something that he would bring me from Australia because it's the only way you can bring kangaroo over in an airplane. You can't bring like a thing of beef frozen or something, or kangaroo meat frozen.
No, it's you don't need a permit to own a kangaroo in Wisconsin.
Interesting. Yeah,
So,
there's only 3 states like that: West Virginia, Wisconsin, and South Carolina. Everybody else needs a permit.
There are days I miss West Virginia. I loved living there. I lived at the very tip near Pennsylvania. My grandmother worked at a hospital.
If Fallout 76, then you can, be there all the time.
Kronos, are you talking about the real drop bear, or are you talking about koalas? Because one doesn't really exist and the other one does.
What's a drop bear? I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of the carnivorous koala?
No.
Like a real Australian
kinda like-
menace it is.
It's kind of like the Jersey
Goes up in
Devil
the
or the
trees.
Mothman. It is a cryptid that Australians use to make fun of tourists. It's basically a koala that has poison and drops from the trees and attacks people.
Got to watch
Is this
them
like
in
a
the trees.
chupacabra thing?
Yes, it's like a chupacabra.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
chupacabra is much less dangerous than drop bear.
Cabra.
My own ideas.
Chupacabra.
Cabra.
Chupacabra.
By the way, T-bone is not a poor man's steak. That's just what snobs say.
Well, my family in
Well, it is
Texas
cheaper.
call it a poor man's steak, and that's why they always gave it to me.
Cheaper than what?
Cheaper than a
don't
ribeye.
know.
It has 2 high-end cuts
Not
on it.
cheaper than a
Combined.
ribeye.
It can't be, yeah.
That's
it's
what they always
Go
$18
to
for a
Outback.
T-bone.
A ribeye is cheaper than a
$18.
T-bone.
$18.
I'm saying that when I grew up, they
Ribeye's
called it a
24.
poor man's cut, and they gave it to me.
Oh, you
That's
got
my
sick
family.
when you were a kid? That's nice.
No,
Most of the time, I was mostly raised on mac and cheese and hot dogs.
Besides, if you get the same thing, okay, if you get a fucking filet mignon, right, and you get a T-bone,
Can you say that
Filet
again?
mignon.
every place I go,
Well,
the
DT,
filet mignon is thicker, juicier, fatter. It's not the same. It's not like you just take off filet mignon. It's not the same thing. A T-bone is
Yum.
different.
It's literally the same thing.
No, not when you
For the
order at the
bone?
store.
An extra.
You go to a
meat.
restaurant and you order
Right.
filet mignon, and then you order a T-bone, and right? Do it, and then you put them right next to each
You go
other.
to a restaurant
The
and
filet
order
mignon
filet
is
mignon.
also getting
better
a kick out of the
than
way
what you
you're
got on the
saying that,
T-bone.
like, trying really hard not to pronounce the G.
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon, you idiot.
Filet mignon. My young is flaming.
It's
Filet mignon.
filet
Talk.
mignon. Filet mignon.
Mignon.
It's like you're
Filet
really,
mignon.
really,
Oh my God!
really, really
Can you
trying
please
hard
my
not
stop
to
God.
saying
say
that word? You're driving
What am
me
I
nuts.
supposed to say? Mignon?
Well, the
Filet
first time
mignon?
you said it, you said mignon.
Yeah.
Flame mignon.
That's why I
Mignon.
asked you to
There's
say it
no
again.
Not
G in
flame.
it.
It's a
Stop
Filet
fillet.
mignon.
Mignon.
It's filet mignon.
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 So I'm saying that. Mignon.
Do not pronounce the G.
Yeah, you.
I'm
it-
not.
it
Flamaine.
sounds like you're trying-
Flamaine.
But it sounds like you're trying not to.
Omelette du fromage. Oh my God.
Ignore it. Act like there's no G in the word, okay? Instead.
Filet mignon. There's no G in that. Mignon.
Oh my God, dude. LDG, just listen back later. You are still saying the G. And it's driving everybody batshit crazy.
Listen to it backwards. Freddy is the devil.
Yes, Ozzy Osbourne is the Prince of Darkness.
And yesterday was his birthday.
I am
how
out
old
of
is
coffee,
he?
so I'm going
He's
to
like
switch
70, 72.
to my phone so I can go outside and smoke a cigar, and then I'm gonna have to end the stream because I got to work at the storage unit. So hold on a sec. Let me switch to the phone real quick. I've got 3 of my kids, plus Caddy's boyfriend and Mrs. Vile, all to help me at the storage unit, so I can try to. Hopefully, this means this week I will be posting a lot of stuff to the store.
Free labor.
Doing inventory.
Well, more like condensing stuff because I got to move out of that storage unit because they raised the rent on me $50.
Oh God, yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah, I
yeah.
did the same shit in California when they did that to me. It was like all of a sudden it went up like $60. I'm like, you're fucking kidding. Oh well, that was the promotional for the entire year. I'm like,
yeah, I love how they do promotional.
I'm paying for
bullshit.
a 5x10 storage unit. You want to charge me $150? Fuck you.
That should be
I'll
illegal.
be right back. Hold on a sec.
After these messages, we'll be
right back.
Dude.
Yes, I know that reference.
ABC little shorts.
After these messages, we'll be right back. I haven't thought about that one, and I haven't thought about that one in years. Probably
that's one to grow on.
Oh,
that's one to grow on.
Bread?
Yeah.
No bread.
So T is going to tell you about how to do the right thing.
Well, I remember when I was. I remember when I first watched Star Trek. I remember when I first watched Star Trek TNG when it came out, when it aired, and I saw Geordi, and my first reaction was, "It's the guy from Reading Rainbow."
We can grab
Roots
something.
was what I recommended or reminded you or back, but you know what I mean. I recognized him from that.
But
I was 6 years old.
They made us watch that in school.
Do not use. Don't eat that.
Sanity? Nope, you never need that.
Don't eat that one. Anything else?
There is a. I believe she is there's a reporter, I believe, I think she is, I don't know what she does now, but she's a very famous, she got very big as a reporter. And I remember her on, I started seeing her and I was like, I remember her from Channel 1 in school back when I was in middle school.
Barbara Walters?
Yeah.
No, not Barbara Walters. I'd have to look it up because I cannot remember the lady's name. I'll slap myself in the face when I find it.
His name was Anderson Cooper, I think.
No, this was a female, I believe, of Asian descent.
I said, yeah.
Oh. No, not Connie Chung.
I got that joke.
Wasn't Connie Chung? No, she was on NBC.
Yeah. Was she on NBC? I couldn't remember.
I know Soledad O'Brien was on Tech TV, but I mean, I don't remember anybody else from Channel 1 except for Anderson Cooper.
That might have been late. If Anderson Cooper was on Channel 1, that must have been later than. That must have been after my junior high years because I don't remember him on there.
Channel 1 came out my senior year, so we didn't pay a lot of attention to it because that's when they put all the CRTs in every classroom, and it's time to watch this propaganda.
Kronos, there's a reason why your comment is hidden.
We watched Channel 1 in my and I use the words middle school and junior high interchangeably because I went to a middle school and I went to a junior high. But at my middle school, yeah, that's where I was introduced to Channel 1.
Yeah.
No, is that a local channel?
No.
I
National Public School propaganda to tell you who to vote for.
I
Oh,
don't
because I
remember
never
them
had
doing
Channel
that.
1.
I don't remember them being propaganda. They were just trying to get news.
No, they were biased pro.
Well,
as
I
the
mean, I was
days
young. I
long.
didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was only, you know, in junior high, let's see, I was like 12, 13 years old. So it's not like I fucking knew anything about politics.
That's why they did it.
Dude, I was in the process of discovering girls at that time. You think I cared about what was on the news?
Well, like I said, it came out when I was a senior in high school, and by that time we learned to.
Yeah, I wanted to say that was the reason why your message was hidden. There's no insult.
I remember one.
Like that around here.
Oh, sorry, Elihu. I remember one time we actually had to get permission slips to watch an episode of Channel 1 because it had to deal with AIDS.
Yeah, that's back when public schools, you know, had to pretend to care about what they expose little kids to in terms of information.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, trust me, dude. I've been homeschooling 3 years, and what I'm seeing, I've even talked to people, what I'm seeing right now is I'm like, I'm not so certain I want my son to go back to high school go to high school. He wants to, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm not comfortable with this, with what I'm seeing. I'm not comfortable with what I'm reading, and I'm not reading propaganda. I'm hearing it from people's mouths, straight from them. And I'm like, this ain't, I've said it. I said it earlier. This normalization that seems to be going on about a certain type of people is, and you could probably put 2 and 2 together where I'm going with that one, but I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want to get Mike's channel struck. But this normalization is scaring the shit out of me.
What are you talking about?
Drag queens.
I'm talking about. You need some help, honey? Okay. I'll be back. Mike, if you're still on, I'll be back. If not, that's cool. But I got to go help my wife get some stuff out of the car.
All righty. Listen, I'm going to be about another 10 minutes or so. Then I'm heading out. But considering I've got, 4 kids, 3 of them that are in the public schools, 1 of them that graduated public schools, I don't have a problem with that. But again,
What, drag queens story hour?
No. Why?
Because they're drag queens.
So?
Well, that's a sex show, basically. And
how is it a sex show?
How is it a sex show?
Well, that's what it's okay. It's they do strip. I mean, they do take clothes off, things like that. I mean, it's more like a burlesque show, but I mean, still,
No.
If I have to explain it to you, you won't understand it.
Have you ever been to one?
Darren, let me put it to you this way.
Go to one. They don't do anything. They're just reading stories.
I don't think that's appropriate for the kids that they're trying to force.
So you're saying that Robin Williams in drag reading a kid's show or reading a children's story is okay or not okay because it's sexual?
I wouldn't recommend Mrs. Doubtfire to little kids either.
Why?
The very reason that you just gave.
Because a man is dressed as a woman? What about a woman dressed as a man reading stories to kids? Is that the same thing? Why don't you actually go to one and then have your say about it instead of repeating what people are actually saying? You're not talking about sexuality. They just show up and read stories.
You're generalizing what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
Darren.
drag queen story.
Darren,
that would be traumatizing to little kids. That would be absolutely traumatizing.
Okay, would it be traumatizing for a kid to be read a children's story by a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader?
Well, I don't know why you would do that.
No, I'm saying if a cheerleader in that costume decided to read children's stories at a public school or public library or something, would you say, "Oh no, that's not allowed. It's inherently sexual because of her costume"?
Wait a second.
I would
going
prefer not
as
to send a child of mine that.
Darren, ask the obvious question.
Saying that she's in the costume.
Ask the obvious question.
She just got done saying she's in the costume. Weren't you listening?
Oh, he's in the costume.
Okay,
Okay,
you're objecting to the act of it being a person in a costume.
No.
It's a uniform.
Her actual uniform, not just a costume.
It's a uniform, not a costume.
It's a costume. Okay.
It's a uniform.
No, it's like a square, circle, square.
Oh, God. Okay.
Huge difference.
So you're equating to the fact that one is inherently sexual and the other one isn't.
I don't think it's appropriate. Now,
if someone were to
story hour, I'm sorry, but
at one of my public libraries, they had a Star Wars day where they had people dressed as Star Wars characters, including one lady who was dressed as Princess Leia in the gold bikini, who read stories
I don't think that's
to the
appropriate
kids.
either. I mean,
Yeah, that's not appropriate for
They
kids.
also had Darth Vader reading stories to kids.
Oh no, a villain, a bad guy.
Darth Vader dressed in a.
you can't tell the difference.
CNA.
Again, I don't know that I can explain it to you and you'd understand it, because this is an inherent thing we're talking about here.
No, you're the one who's sexualizing it. That's the problem.
Did you guys know that?
You don't think that the Leia slave outfit was intended to be sexualized?
I think
honestly,
within the context of the movie, yes, it was very sexualized.
And you think that Darth Vader is the same thing, that he's somehow sexualized?
No, but Darth Vader is a villain. I mean, he kills people.
So what?
Right, he's a villain. He's a villain. Yeah.
So should he not?
This is a perpetual indulgence, okay? They have been reading stories to kids for years.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
Go to one.
Any idea how ridiculous you sound?
I'm gonna say my position on this. Darth Vader is a bad reference, because here's my thing: adult themes are not appropriate for children. That is it. That is how I feel about it. There's nothing anybody's going to say is going to change my mind.
Now what he's going to do is he's going to try to worm his way into that idea and try to get you to make an exception. That's
no, but I just don't see. I don't see it as sexual. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it to you guys.
We can tell that you can't see that it's sexual, but
a woman dressed as a man or a man dressed as a woman is not sexual to me.
Okay, well, that's I mean, there are drag queens that say that this is inappropriate for drag queens to be on Story Hour. I mean, you can find them.
I don't have a problem with a drag queen. I don't have a problem with RuPaul reading my kid a story at the library. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but that's a problem. I'm sorry.
You send your kids to that library, then I won't.
Yeah, I will not go to that library because that is an adult.
And why should my taxpayer dollars go to?
Hold on.
Do that.
What would be NB? What is wrong with RuPaul just reading a story, not dancing around, not doing anything else, just reading a story?
Is
RuPaul dressed
because RuPaul is inherently sexual because of what they do?
RuPaul dressed in drag when she's reading the stories or not?
RuPaul is a character. RuPaul is a drag character.
In this case, we'll say yes. They're in drag.
Is RuPaul dressed in drag while reading to kids? Because
yes, in this case, I'm saying yes.
Okay, drag queen stuff is an adult theme that has no.
Why? How is it adult?
You mean how is it adult? Ordinarily, only adults can get into drag shows. That has changed within the last couple of years, and that's what we're.
Are you okay with strippers and hookers coming in?
Hold on. When I was a kid, my school took us to a play. Within that play, we had men dressed as women,
right,
and women dressed as men performing around the world in 80 days.
That's right. That's not a sex show, is it?
Neither is story time.
Shakespearean theater with the way they're dressed.
I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, okay. Mike, no. And like I said, if you have to have it explained to you, you won't understand it.
Darren, have you ever even been
Have
to
a good
one?
day.
Go to one. Go to one. Then explain. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
If you guys,
hold on.
complain about you never experienced it or seen it, don't
When-
say jack shit about it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my best friend's mom was a stripper. Now, the fact that she was a stripper, should that preclude her from reading stories at the library because she's a stripper and her job is inherently sexual?
If she's dressed
No,
as a
because
stripper
of
while
the
she's
library's job
reading, then
to
yeah.
say whether or not ours. If the library says no, the library says no. The library might not say
There
no
should be no
for her
reason
going in
to
there
use she was a
in her
stripper
uniform
if she
as a
was
stripper.
there just reading as a nice mother.
Or how about if I were to put on a dress and read a story to some kids? Would you guys be like, no, that's inherently sexual just because I'm dressed as a woman?
Yeah, I wouldn't really be up for that.
But it's just
not,
a costume.
It's not your choice. You don't get to choose that.
I get to choose where my kids go to. Yes, I do.
No, not your kids. He didn't mean the kids. He said the library. Whether or not she can go to the library and do it.
I'm
is
not saying
up
the
to you.
library should say.
That's what he
no.
said. Right? Aren't we talking about going to the library? Is that what you said? So it's the library's
We're
choice.
talking about sending kids to the library.
That's your choice.
Yeah, it's up to the parents to take the kids to the library for that event.
Or, well, technically, I went to the library myself. I didn't have my parents' permission to go to the library.
I mean,
it was like literally right there, right next to the school.
I would equate it to someone dressing up as Sherlock Holmes and reading a Sherlock Holmes book. Or hell, if they want to dress as Sherlock Holmes and they want to read a Star Wars book, it's still just someone in costume, and I don't care.
Okay, but what if the costume is showing their genitals? Is that not a problem?
That they don't do that.
What do you mean they don't do that?
They don't do that. They don't show their genitals because it's still a public library.
Dressed as Slave Leia, you're seeing just about as much of the genitals you possibly could see without seeing the nips and the lips.
So I mean,
is
you
that
guys
a
the problem is you guys sexualize everything so much.
Well, that's
agree
the
with that.
line. That's the
That's
line.
what?
You guys don't. That's the problem.
The problem is we don't sexualize people.
Yeah, if you want to say the problem is we sexualize people, I don't know who we are. But if you want to say the problem is we sexualize people too much, then the problem is you don't sexualize people enough.
Exactly. Thank you, Bert.
Well, who's
There's
to
five
say that
sides
what's
to every
right
coin.
or wrong there?
No, I mean
Put it
that
back on you.
to me. I mean, do you walk around with a perpetual erection at the beach just because you see people
I
in
wish I
bathing
could.
suits?
Some people do.
I wish I could.
There's no
I would
argument.
love a
You'll be able to
perpetual
argue every
erection.
side, no matter what.
I don't know.
It's
To
about
me,
time
that-
we all
that
just shut the
seems
hell up
wrong
and just do what we want.
that you go around and everything is sex, sex, sex. To me, some things, a cigar is just a cigar.
No, I mean,
It's
I
like
understand
Schrodinger's cat,
what
right?
what's
It
his
either
face
is and is
said
not
when he
at the
meant-
same time.
when he said that, but I have no idea how that relates to the current situation.
So, Bird, let me ask you a question. During the Pride parades, during Gay Pride Month, all throughout the
The
country.
Pride Parade is
Can I
basically
finish? Can I finish asking my
public
question?
degeneracy and should probably be illegal. I have nothing against gay pride, but we all know what happens at a pride parade, and it is not PG. Okay, it's not G. It's not even
Definitely not
PG.
G.
Well,
It's debatable whether it's R or just hard NC-17.
I think it would depend on which ones you go to, because there are some that are fairly tame, especially here in San Diego.
I'm talking about New York City.
And I would say it's on the adults. If you think that your kid can handle something, by all means, take them there. I mean, I personally, I didn't take my kids to any nude beaches or anything like that, but I do know
Okay.
parents that take their kids to nude beaches.
Okay, let me tell you something right now. And this is coming from somebody who I was raised in a strip joint. Okay, my father owned a male and female strip joint. I don't have any. I came out fine. Look at me. I'm not traumatized. I mean,
Says the guy that
That's
uses
debatable.
nothing
very
happened to me.
debatable.
I was fine. You know, I walked
Oh,
all
and
over the place.
Caddy's in the
I
house.
have.
Oh, Caddy, you just joined us. Wow.
And I'm sure Caddy would agree with me.
I don't even know
Because I
what
raised her right.
09P means.
What, Bird?
All right,
Caddy
but I'm going
says
to go
that
ahead.
I'm thoroughly 09P. I have
I'll
zero
let
idea
Caddy
what that
explain
is.
what that means because I have no idea what that means either. And then I'm
Is
going to
it
go
a
ahead and end the
typo?
stream because I need to get ready to pick everyone up to do the storage unit.
Oh,
So,
free
Caddy,
labor.
explain what
Gotcha.
that means. We're waiting.
I'm duly annoyed talking about gay stuff without me.
Well, we'll talk about it later, sweetheart. I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go. We finally got our argument at the end of the stream. Can you mute the computer real quick? Sorry, I got the laptop making sure everything.
I heard a little echo.
Okay. Later, folks.
Later,
Later,
weirdos.
everybody.
Right there.
Take it easy.